life and consciousness. It is literally our mama, plasmama. This field is crucial for the fluid, generative, and relational nature of existence of this expansion. Like once you realize this, you're like, oh my god, so obvious, right? The thing is, this paradoxical field is literally invisible, and right now it's not proved in science yet. But there are markers that plasma and force case matter are showing us that. All right, guys. While I was speaking, we had, remember when I was saying that the lights were flickering? Um, it knocked out our internet connection temporarily. So I have no idea at which part you guys did not see or did not hear from me speaking. I have no idea. So I'm going to rewind a bit and maybe, I guess, speak all over again because I think I touched on some very important things. I have I have no idea where we ended. Anybody in the chat could tell me where was the last part where I was speaking? Because the lights were flickering and everything, and I think that's when the internet got knocked out for a little while. I'm not surprised. This always happens whenever I talk about the divine feminine. They really hate it. We know who the they is. Um, purposely, no matter how much I prepare, try to give me technical difficulties. So, um, okay, I'm just gonna go back randomly and hopefully it'll be in the right spot more or less. Consciousness experiences itself. It is like the funhouse mirror that can be shifted and molded by consciousness, and they feedback with each other to evolve. It is like our mother and father, and we have forgotten our mother. So first, no one has differentiated the two, which have made things very confusing. And then two, all of these men, no offense to them, have lacked the know-how, the knowledge. Okay, guys, you know what? It'll be best if I start from the beginning, and hopefully the the internet will behave. So here we go. Many men have tried to figure out the true nature of reality, but they were missing something key that I literally think I have found. I think that I have helped start to solve the hard problem of consciousness, which is the challenge of explaining how the physical brain activity produces subjective awareness. So why did all these brilliant people like David Bohm, Nikola Tesla, and Thomas Campbell, who wrote this really awesome book, The Theory of Everything, what were they missing? They were missing the divine feminine. They were missing plasma, the fourth state of matter. And I'll tell you how those two link and why it's literally the missing key to solving reality, fixing how we see reality, and why it's been suppressed for so long, along with the divine feminine. And it's not just about the divine feminine, it's about the mix of the two, masculine and feminine, which we'll get into now. So the closest model, I think, to explaining reality, Thomas Campbell did a great job at it. Consciousness, he says, is fundamental. It's the prime stuff of reality. It's like a self-learning computer. It grows and adapts over time. You're basically in a simulation rendered by consciousness. It's all about love, and the rules all exist in a simulation to help consciousness evolve. It is way more complex than that. You'll have to check his books out. Basically, many people across history have said that consciousness is fundamental. We still haven't solved the problem, and here's why. It's not just consciousness. There have been two major oversights. No one has differentiated that there's not one thing called consciousness that is a field and the experiencer. It is two things. Plasma is the field, not the fourth state of matter, but an expanded version of plasma. It is a metaphysical, invisible field that holds our thoughts and emotions and is at the base of reality, and it is how consciousness experiences itself. It is like the funhouse mirror that can be shifted and molded by consciousness, and they feedback with each other to evolve. It is like our mother and father, and we have forgotten our mother. So first, no one has differentiated the two, which have made things very confusing. And then two, all of these men, no offense to them, have lacked the know-how, the knowledge of the divine feminine of creation, because this has been suppressed since the days of Mary Magdalene. The divine feminine, the goddess, has not only been suppressed, she has been seen as this like wild temptress full of paradox and evil. And that's because It's a scary thing to live in the unknown, to live in paradox, to try to control something that cannot be controlled. The divine feminine cannot be controlled. What it can be is learn how to be in a relationship with it. That is the trick to learning about women. Not to control them, but to learn how to be in a relationship with them. So why the heck does this have to do with plasma? If plasma is
Okay, um, so basically, what she's saying is, in touching on the last broadcast, uh, the divine feminine being the principal manifestation of God, and the masculine actually being the secondary. Um, the feminine being without form, being chaotic, being mysterious, um, and needing its counterpart to be shaped, guided, protected by consciousness, the male principle, the male, the divine masculine. All right, and notice how she talks about how it's you have to have a relationship with the feminine, a going back and forth. So to have a relationship, uh, the masculine protecting, giving form and organization to the feminine. But what she's saying, kind of between the lines is, um, not to do the opposite, which is what we've been seeing for the last 10,000 years or so, uh, where instead of being in relationship with the feminine, it's being controlled, it's being uh, dominated. The masculine is dominating it and dividing it, and sometimes even destroying it, or um, more commonly ignoring it, and just having it be hidden to manifest probably in unhealthy ways. um, so it's a dance, and she's not only talking about um, spiritually, but this also manifests in the physical world, in our bodies, being flesh and blood human beings living in this 5D reality, you know, as women, as men, and how men, instead of seeking relationship to us as women, relating to us as women, going back and forth in a balanced, equal way, they get intimidated by our raw power, our spiritual power, our ability to bring forth life, our sex appeal that make them make lose control, a whole bunch of things. They seek to repress it, suppress it, instead of having an equal relationship where you know they do their part within healthy boundaries, respectable and spiritually responsible boundaries. Okay, so let's continue here.
this divine feminine receptive field of consciousness that consciousness impregnates and creates with, but it also is its own intelligent field, knowing all past, present, and futures. It is our nurturer. It is what sustains life and consciousness. It is literally our mama, plasmama. This field is crucial for understanding the fluid, generative, and relational nature of existence of this expanded plasma. I'm writing a whole book on this. The link is in my bio if this is vibing with you. I know it's tickling you and being like once you realize this, you're like, oh my God, so obvious, right? The thing is, this paradoxical field is literally invisible, and right now it's not proved in science yet. But there are markers that plasma, the fourth state of matter, are showing us that will lend you to believe, and science to believe, that reality is intelligent and made of this field. And I bet you it will be proven soon once we have the machinery to do so. But as above, so below. If plasma is fundamental to our existence, much like quark gluon plasma, much like how plasma makes up 99.9% of reality, but no one studied it in school for some reason, and most scientists don't know about it or deeply about it, It is.
Okay, let's see if you can still do this. Oh my god.
This can evolve through consciousness and plasma. If we had a universe just of plasma, it would be like a funhouse mirror delusional disaster. And if we had a universe just of consciousness, it would be like everyone yapping at each other, but no one listening. You need the listening, you need the receptivity. And we need more of this in our lives as well. It all connects. It's crazy. Once you see it, you cannot unsee it. The Rose, the Mary Magdalenes, the Ananas, they were literally the suppressed feminine yelling out to us in mythology all of this time to remember her in our universe and how creation also needs her to support us. And subconsciousness is fundamental, which it is. You need to differentiate that there's a medium or plasma that enables consciousness to interact with dimensions and realities. And that's where it gets really fun in the future. We will probably learn how to interact with other dimensions and realities from this plasma, with our consciousness traveling through it, much like astral projection, much like telepathy, much like dreaming. This is the field of dreams, my friend. I don't know how I figured this out. It literally came to me in a meditation like 5 years ago, and ever since I've been obsessed. And it just feels right in my heart, and I'm going with it. Even though 5 years ago no one was talking about it, it made no sense to anyone. I think it's starting to now, and I'm excited. And my book is coming out on it in a few months. Once again, you can go to the link in my bio to sign up for the book. It's called A New Force. And it's basically how we can use this divine feminine force to live a better, more deeper, magical life, and actually like the psychology of it. Because if there's an observer in this reality, which is us, and we mold reality, there's a lot of interesting implications there for how we can just make our lives better in general.
Okay. Oh, we're back, guys. Sorry about that interruption. Technical difficulties are usually a common thing whenever I'm talking about this subject. Anything to do with the feminine mother god, I'm kind of used to it right now. But anyhow, yes, you can use this knowledge to manifest more efficiently, and that's why I'm convinced that this is basically the same thing as dark energy, and creating and manifesting with dark energy. It's truly the stuff of magic, and I think it's this. I believe it's the same thing. It's just that she's using different terminology. Shera 7 is using different terminology, but it's the same thing. That's what I'm guessing. um, Before I go on to the next thing, let me just take a quick look into the comments. And my daughter she's in the comments, if you guys noticed. She's watching the live stream from the other room. All right. Cassandra, men cannot balance us if they cannot balance themselves. They are envious of us, so that immediately creates imbalance. Yes, I agree. I very much agree. Um, because they're primary, I mean, going by the spiritual law and the natural law, right? They're supposed to be um, the more principled, logical ones. They're the ones who are to give order and balance to the feminine, right? The chaotic feminine and everything. We're the wild, unmanicured, dangerous wild terrain, and they're the ones to, come in and make things inhabitable for everyone. But yeah, if they are not balanced, if they are sick, dysfunctional, um, yeah, it gets perverted to envy, um, and making our lives hell, making uh, Mother Earth's lives hell, and all of us on it, and um, but yes. And the thing is, it's like, okay, they're imbalanced. I'd say a lot of men are imbalanced. um it's like, how did that happen? Where did that you know where did that dysfunction start? Especially if they're put in such a great place of trust. So anyhow, on to the next thing. I have found Shera 7 or Shera Star Goddess, her video talking about um, dark energy. She has a book, Manifesting with Dark Energy, as well. You can find it on Kindle. Okay, so here she explains exactly what it is, and you may pick up on a lot of similarities to what Dana was talking about. So here we go.
Hi, cheers, everybody. So I would like to talk a little bit more about dark energy, dark matter, becoming dark energy, becoming dark matter, working with dark energy, working with dark matter. By dark, I don't mean evil, I mean unseen, undiscovered, creator, source, energy. Okay, I know I should just say that, but I like to say what it really is. Okay, I don't like to disguise it with words. Okay, that is darkness. You can't see it. You don't know it's coming. You're a part of it. It's a part of you. It's hidden in between each particle. It's everywhere. It's nowhere. So that's why I use that word. A lot of people say, well, why don't you just say energy? Why don't you just say source? Because I want to use the real word, because it's been given a bad rap, y'all. Why does dark have to be evil? Okay. Is the night evil? No. Okay. Is my hair evil? No. Why? Let's discuss this first. Why is darkness associated with evil? Think about it. I will help you. Think about the Bible. The Bible will make you think something evil, but it's not. Okay. I'm sorry, I just got distracted by a squirrel. So darkness is the unseen, the unknown, the omnipotent, the everywhere, the source, the creator energy. That scared me though. So that's also the unknown, which is knowledge. Hidden knowledge. So if you go back to the story in the Bible, the hidden knowledge, the tree of evil and good, the tree of knowledge, and all that was in the Garden of Eden. And, they say Eve, the woman, took a bite of the apple, or fruit, or whatever you want to call it. And she became conscious of, things that she had no clue about. So let's just say that darkness create, become like God. Because remember, the serpent said, if you eat of this tree, you will become like God. So that's why he doesn't want you to eat from the tree, because you'll be like him. You'll be a creator as well. You'll be able to do all, whatever you need to do. You'll be able to do whatever you want. So she said, hey, that sounds like a good idea. So she ate it. And she became of good and evil, just darkness and light. She became aware of duality, and herself as a creator being. Even like if you go further along in the Bible, she says, when she has her child, she says, look, I created a man. So she was still in her goddess self. Okay, if y'all haven't read the Bible, I'm not even Christian, but I know the Bible, because most Christians don't know the Bible. That's why they're still Christian. I know the Bible. I grew up reading the Bible. I know the in and out of it. And I know a lot of it is spells. I know a lot of it is magic. I know a lot of it is necromancy, working with demons. Y'all gonna read the Bible? And y'all come back and tell me. So Now that we got that out of the way, becoming like source energy, becoming the darkness, the unseen, the unknown, the all, is a visualization process. And you also have to have confidence. You have to know who you are, where you came from, how the cosmos are made up. You have to know all of this because the science connects as well as the metaphysical aspects of it all. We have space and darkness inside of us. In between each molecule, in between each cell, there's darkness, there's space, there's dark matter. Just like in the skies, in between the stars and the planets, there's dark matter that's holding us together. There's that space. People say it's gravity, but it's not. It's dark energy. It's dark matter.
I just wanted to jump in with what she's talking about with the dark matter, the dark space being in between each cell and in between the stars and such. With Joe Dispenza's with his meditations, which are deeply powerful, and people have healed themselves of serious diseases like cancer, heart disease, you name it. Very healing meditation, and it guides you through the blessing of the energy centers. Energy centers is basically his terminology for chakras. And there's throughout that meditation, he'll say in space, imagine this chakra, feel it in space. And that's what I think he's referring to, is that dark energy, the dark matter that's surrounding and throughout that energy center, that chakra in your body, that's being worked on in that moment, in that point in the meditation. And it's very healing energy. With Shera's meditation that's in her book, if I remember correctly, how I remember doing it is that, which is a really easy way, is just imagine that you're at the edge of the universe, at the very, very end of the universe, and you put yourself, your consciousness beyond that, into the darkness, into the void, what I call pre-creation. And that's where you go to manifest or to heal yourself or regenerate, what have you. That's the simple yet powerful way of doing it.
Because you can't see it, so you have to make up a force. It's not a force, it's a matter, it's a physical thing. Okay? And to visualize yourself becoming part of this physical thing is very easy because it's already yes. You have the dark matter inside your body into each cell. Women have it in their uterus. That's how it is. So we have this, and when you close your eyes and connect to it, and connect to within as well as without, as it does so well, and you are one with the darkness, saying, the dark matter, you can then create in your visualization. You can say, this is how it's going to be. You don't ask because who are you asking? You are that source energy. So you are saying what you want to create, just like in Genesis. Let there be this, let there be that, there will be done, that, this, thou, whatever. So mote it be. That's where that term comes from. So mote it be. Okay? So I allow it. I give you permission. You become like God. And then you go back, you come back, and like I said, you wait on it. And a lot of people are still confused, even though I've explained this 1,000 times. There's no, everything is part of darkness. Everything you can't see, touch, feel, spirits, whatever, whatever. It's all part of the darkness. It's part of you. It's part of me. We're going to be that one day. You know, it's just like, it's like being afraid of the things you can't see because it's hidden. But if you think of them as just another aspect of the darkness, like that's part of that darkness. You're becoming them. You're becoming them. You're becoming those spirits. You're becoming whatever. You can take them over. Your conscience is stronger because you have the capability to become source. And a lot of people will throw that away. They will dismiss it and they will say that's not true. That's the biggest lie ever told. They want you to think that so you can't do anything. You're dependent on them and you're dependent on a system. And you don't depend on yourself. You don't know your ability. You don't know your true power because you've been told so long this, and that, and you don't believe it. When you start to believe it, when you know who you are and you know what you can do, it becomes so easy. And a lot of people are aware of this knowledge. And they don't talk about it. They don't say nothing about it because, normal people who are still asleep will say they're crazy. Some people use different language to describe it. Not like different words, not different words, but a different word or different language to describe it. But it's the same thing. Like I always talk about Abraham Hicks. She says, oh, you have to become one with the vortex. You have to be in the vortex. The vortex is a visualization of you becoming source energy and granting yourself what you want. That's all it is. People use too many fancy words to describe stuff and people get all confused. And I'm just trying to break it down to you in very simple terms. So that's basically what it is. So the more powerful that you become depends on your level of confidence in yourself, your level of belief that you are part of something. And it takes, for someone to truly believe in, religion as strong as a lot of people do, it can't really get them what believing in themselves can get. People who believe in themselves and apply themselves and manifest get faster, stronger, more exact results than people who pray. Because prayer is directed to, first of all, it's asking. It's begging. Second, you're praying to a God that didn't want you to, if you're praying to the God of the Bible, you're praying to a God that didn't want you to know anything and who will punish you. You're praying.
Okay, she's actually referring to the God of the First Testament, and most people don't know or understand that the God of the First Testament is not the same as the God of the Second. So I get what she's saying there, but basically what she's saying is that we have to basically rely, in order to manifest effectively, to rely on the feminine, divine feminine, the mother God principle, that raw, chaotic, powerful energy. Okay, the spirituality. Whereas people who are, say, in her example, hardline Christians, they rely on the masculine principle, religion, where there are set rules, there's set organization, set ways of doing things, where it's very hierarchical. There's God, and you have to pray to God. and maybe he'll give you something, maybe he'll grant it, maybe he won't. Most people find that he doesn't, you know. Um, or instead of religion, you go to spirituality, the feminine, and you go to the darkness. You go to the dark matter. Um, and what she's saying is, unlike that right hand path, the masculine, the feminine, instead of the if things being hierarchical, like with the masculine, it's communal, like how women tend to be communal. There's no emphasis on who's higher, who's the boss, who's this. You're communing with the dark energy, with that magical spiritual power, and you become one with it. Now you are God, or in her words, you become the dark energy, as she said. It's, the same concept. And now that you are the dark energy, you can create like the dark energy. Now you can visualize the outcome you want, or the healing that you want, or the situation you want, whatever it is. Okay. Instead of begging, you're now commanding, you're now designing what you want to bring forth. Okay. So I hope that's making sense. Now I am convinced it is plasma. That is just different terminology. This is what Dana is talking about, what she was talking about in the previous video, and what Shera 7 is talking about here. Both are feminine, both are creative, both are regenerative energies, opposite to the masculine and the masculine mindset. It's the same thing. It is. And it has to be. All right. Let's see here. Right, so I'm going to let her continue.
To that, you're praying to a very mean God. If you're praying to source energy, you're still asking, which means there's an option to say no, which means there's a 50-50 chance you're not going to get what you want. But if you go and say, I know who I am, I know where I come from, I know I'm part of source energy just in this body on the physical plane. I have to go back, retrace my steps, go back into source energy, into the dark matter, and go ahead and say, yes, this can be done for you. And you come on back to my body and wait for it. I can't risk action. I can't risk 50-50 chance. I gotta go skip the middleman. And I gotta go do it myself and come back and wait for it. Okay?
And I will say this: whenever I introduce during my rituals, my angelic rituals, whether it's rituals that I'm doing for myself or for other people, mostly clients, I find that it manifests even more powerful when I incorporate dark energy in my work. Meaning, when I'm doing my rituals, which is mostly mental work and working with Kabbalah, Hebrew spiritual sigil keys and such, when I go into a meditative state and I imagine myself, I let my consciousness be in that darkness, in that chaotic void as I'm doing the rituals, I find that it's more powerful. It manifests more powerfully. Okay. And that's a stark contrast to like what Shera was saying, where you're doing things through the masculine, where you're, begging or asking someone to please, please, please do this. And maybe there's a 50-50 chance that, he'll do it for you, So yes, I mean it's a very powerful thing. It's very easy to understand why throughout all these centuries and millennia that people, especially women, but people in general, have been discouraged to take the path of uh, becoming one with God, being God, and manifesting as God through that dark feminine path. Again, dark not meaning evil, but the darkness of which everything came forth from, including light, including the masculine. Because it's harder to control people. You really can't control people that way. Actually, not even harder to control. You can't. You have to keep people solely on the masculine, the consciousness side, the white, the light principle of spirituality, where it's hierarchical and it's more about control and order. And there's an overemphasis on that. If you don't do A, B, and C, then X, Y, Z is going to happen to you and you're going to be sorry. Fear-based stuff. So people basically have to make their choice. And, maybe I would go as far as to say maybe one is not better than the other, because you know what? Some people are better off under those systems where they have to be, have a sense of control over them. I know in spiritual circles, we always say, and then she's kind of scoffing, and that's okay. We're like, oh, religion is for people. At least give me some water, honey. For the sheep and for excuse me, my throat just got really dry. But some people do need that type of structure for whatever reason. Not everyone is meant to be or designed to be free in that sense. And we just have to accept that. Thank you, honey. I believe that, and I might piss some people off. I do believe a lot of men do belong closer to that they're more at home in that category, of course, because they're masculine. Very hierarchical thinking. The threat of if you don't, a lot of rules, and the threat of what will happen to you if you don't go by the rules. And there's a chain of command, stricter chain of command, in the physical world and in the spiritual world, right? And then you have the dark feminine side, where you're more, there's no hierarchy really, and you're just into that direct connection to the God source, the feminine God source, and no one's really concerned about rules or what's right or wrong or who's above whoever. It's what you desire, bring it forth. What you want to see happen, bring it forth, and it's likely to happen on top of it. There's no real sense of there's a panel to approve or disprove your request. Just like religion, the masculine side of spirituality, the masculine, as they would do. And as I said, there's probably not even a right or wrong to this. Some people are better off being on the hierarchical, traditional religious side, and serve them better, because maybe they won't know what to do if they have that type of freedom and type of power. And even worse, maybe they shouldn't. I think about my ex-husband, who he's very evangelical. And he used religion against me and other members of his family and his, to control and to dupe his friends. I don't want him learning about dark energy. Oh my God. No. Keep him over there with his nose in the Bible, in the First Testament, about fire and brimstone and hell. He doesn't need to know about anything about what we're doing over here. Keep him over there. Anyway, guys. All right, let me continue this.
So a lot of people, they will listen to the video and they will was just totally not here. Like half the stuff I'm saying. Darkness is not evil. It is, when you look up at the night sky, is that evil? When you look up in the universe through a telescope, 96% of what you see is darkness and dark matter and dark energy. Is that evil? No, that's source. That's.
What if I told you that it was possible to feel free in your body, even?
That energy and that matter that you are a part of, that where everything came from, including the light that came from that. So respect it, use it, honor it, embrace it. Don't get confused on what they try to make dark mean. Dark doesn't even mean evil. It just means the absence of light. Okay? Whoever associated darkness with evil was probably tricked by someone very smart who knew a lot more than them. So then they said, oh my God, they're evil. They tricked me. They hid in the dark. They know things that I don't know. Well, that's your fault. So if y'all have any questions, let me know. How much time do I have left? Okay, so if you're like, I know, like, I'm afraid of the dark, because don't be afraid of the dark. It's where you came from. It's you know, you can't be afraid of the dark. If you're that programmed, you need to start off manifesting normally before you try to manifest with darkness. Because once you get the confidence of manifesting normally, you know, just saying universe and you know, being in light and whatever, you're gonna see how fast it works. You're gonna see good results. When you get past that fear of the unknown and you get to the level where you are ready to manifest in darkness, with darkness, become darkness, then however fast your manifestation was, it's gonna come like 10 times faster. Because you're skipping the middleman. You're skipping, you know, all the other stuff, and you're going straight to the source, becoming the source. And it has nothing to do with spirits or evil entities and stuff like that. People have been putting that in your head. I'll say always protect yourself before you do any type of meditation or ritual or anything. You know, do a protection spell, and you don't have to worry about it. The only fear that you're having is the fear in your own mind that you've been programmed to have. So once you realize that, you can move past it. Okay.
I kind of I disagree a little bit with her on this. I feel that people should just jump in to working with dark energy. Just jump the hell right in, because regular manifestation, especially for people who are, you know, normies or muggles, whatever you want to call them, it usually takes so damn long, and by the time it finally happens, they kind of lost track of, like, you know, they're probably not even thinking about dark energy anymore at that point. You know, I say jump right in. And to handle the fear, I would say that depending on the person's spiritual background, okay, if they come from a regular Christian background, okay, pray, do your prayers and everything, Saint Michael or Mother Mary, Jesus, who, you know, whoever, and then jump right in. Or if they're a little bit more spirituality based, do straight up meditations to have your mind calm, and then go into it. I would not even bother with the traditional way of meditation. Just learn about dark energy, read her book or any other type of like metaphysical books out there. I think her book is the only one that covers this, as far as I know, which she's very groundbreaking in so many ways, and this is one of them. They do not give her enough credit. You know, they just see her as, oh, how to get a rich husband or whatever. This work that she's doing right here is even bigger than that, and she really should be getting the credit she deserves on this. But yeah, I think people should just learn about dark energy and just jump right in with a sound mind. And how do you get that sound mind? By either meditating or doing your prayers, and um and then just dive right in. Skip that unnecessary step of regular manifesting, which is its own middleman in itself.
People are so scared it keeps them from moving ahead, and that is the plan. Especially, you know, people of different cultures. They're so scared of the unknown that they stay in the same place and they never evolve because of fear. You can't look. I've been there, and nothing happened to me. I'm still alive. I'm doing fine, really good. Okay, so y'all don't be scared. You know, it's all in your mind. It's all in your mind. Okay. Thank y'all so much. I'll see y'all later. Bye.
Okay, guys. So that's pretty much it. Yeah, so plasma is pretty much the same thing as uh dark energy. They're both feminine. They're both highly creative, powerful energy that we can use for almost anything. And it's also the stuff of the spiritual, the medium of the spiritual. Okay, we'll take a quick look into the comments. Okay, Cassandra, you're back. Welcome back. I hope you got to see everything okay. We had some technical difficulties before. And I saw your previous comment, and I responded to it, but I'm not sure if the broadcast picked up on it. So I'm just going to read it again real quick because it was very interesting what you said. Okay, men cannot balance us if they cannot balance themselves. They are envious of us, so that immediately creates imbalance. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I think the way it's so set up, it's so interesting, this yin and yang, right? Men are physically stronger, but emotionally, and I would even go as far to say mentally, are weaker because of that ego. Their ego is fragile, which means the mind is fragile, right? Um, and yes, when they see us, even though we're physically smaller or weaker, they do know the power we have. They innately know that from the time they were born. And there is going to be an envy there. Why? Because, yeah, men are hierarchical. And it's something that I've just came to accept pretty much later in life. They're hierarchical and they are concerned about who gets to be boss, who gets to be the dominant, and who's the subordinate. And when they sense our power, even though we're physically weaker, I guess, that we're stronger in a lot more ways, yeah, that's going to spark envy. And they can't just let that be. That has to manifest in wanting to control rather than have a true equal balanced relationship where they consort with us, as Dana was explaining in her previous video. That only brings destruction, destruction and suppression, and it's no good for anybody. All right. So we're going to wrap up a little, and I am going to take uh, questions. We could do a Q&A, questions, reading, any any insights that anyone has about what we've been talking about so far. Uh, Eloise has a painting she wants to show, but we're having technical difficulties because if you look on the lower right of the screen, my face is supposed to be showing there. Yeah, it's not showing me, and there's no reason for it because the camera's working just fine. So I can't really show.
I think I know why.
Uh-huh.
What website is this?
No, it's not the website. It's just those things are doing what they do. You know.
Well, I wish There are no technical issues.
Yeah, there's no
Like,
technical
so
issues,
that
so I don't know what
my
that's.
new gonna suit Jeremy.
I don't know what that's all about. So maybe next time, hun, we can show your beautiful artwork. I don't think there's anyone really up for having a reading tonight. Of
Maybe Cassandra came with me.
no, I don't know if she's around, or she doesn't feel like sharing. Not everyone's going to be comfortable at getting a reading here, hun. So that's fine. So anyhow, guys, I guess I'm going to wrap it up now. All right, and anyone who is in need of a reading, I am available at mochagypsymagic.com. I'll leave my link in the description or in the comments. And just tell me, guys, what you think about our discussion about plasma and dark energy, dark feminine energy, the divine feminine, and how that has manifested in your life. So, anyhow, guys, I'm going to sign off now. And everyone, oh, oh, wait a second. My daughter said, I love you, Mom. Okay, I love you too, honey. Oh, yeah, Cassandra. Okay, Cassandra's back. All right. So, okay, so we're wrapping up, Cassandra, and I'm taking questions now. I don't think we have many people in the chat. It's just us. Yeah, it's just us. All right. Let's see here. All right, guys. So, um, yes, if there's any questions, anything you'd like to share, let me know in the comments, and we can continue the discussion there. Let me know if you enjoyed this content. This is a new thing that I'm doing. Ran into some snags, but hopefully next time it will be smoother. Okay, guys, this is Mocha Gypsy signing off. Everyone, be blessed.